Okay, hi guys, this is Ellie Rose and this is your pick a card twin flame reading. So we're going to be focusing on the question, what can I do myself on my own personal journey to help my twin flame union come about? So if you're ready to pick a card, just take a moment, center yourself, ground yourself, take a few deep breaths. If you need to pause the video, do that, that's fine. And try and pick with your gut rather than your eyes. And yeah, when you're ready, this is going to be group 1, this is group 2, this is group 3, group 4 and group 5. So whenever you're ready and you've picked a card, just have a look in the little description below and you'll find the timestamp so you can jump forward to whichever group you picked. Okay, hi guys, so if you picked group 1, this is what we've got for you here. Okay, so on the Thoth deck we have got the 9 of Wands Strength, we've got the Lust card and the Empress. Okay, so, and on these ones we've got the 3 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the Hanged Man, 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this is telling me that you've been doing really well on this journey actually. You've been really patient about it, you've probably been doing your reading, you've been, learning as much as you can and trying to follow all the lessons. And that you've kind of reached a place where you're like, okay, well what do I do now? Because I've done everything that all the articles on the internet have told me to do and all the videos, and I've been following my intuition and all these kind of things, but perhaps you might be a little bit stuck in the past still. You keep going back to these memories of like, oh, we had such good times and nothing else will compare, and it is going round and round in your head a little bit with this 6 of Cups that perhaps you've got to kind of just keep going through the memories, keep bringing it up to the surface. And I feel like you need to go a little bit deeper within. We've got the Hanged Man here, and a lot of us know what the Hanged Man means. That means that you've just got to really go within and find out what the lessons are, because at the moment I think you feel like you're a little bit burdened by this connection, like you've kind of reached the end of your tether, like, okay, well, I've done it all, I've been patient, and I've been trying really hard with this like inner strength, and it's just, what now? I feel like, yeah, you've kind of got to the end of your tether a little bit where you're like, okay, well, when is this going to materialize? And that actually is part of the problem, because when you're trying to figure everything out, like in the 3D, in like a material world, then actually that's kind of blocking it from happening as well, is that you're trying to constantly like, okay, well, I'm waiting, when is this going to happen? And I'm still carrying all these expectations about how it's going to look, and that will actually block you from union as well. Like if you're constantly thinking like what it might look like when you guys get back together, or where you might meet, what time you might meet, when will it be, when will we get back together, when will I have communication with them, when will we have these lovely memories again? And actually this is kind of holding you back from being able to reach that union, because it's going to look entirely different from what you imagine. Like, you could imagine it 100 different ways and it will still be different from all of them. And actually at the moment, you just need to really be the Hanged Man. You need to go within, and you need to really have a little bit more self-care. With the Empress here, it's like, perhaps you have been taking on too much, and even outside of this relationship, outside of this kind of like connection that you guys have, perhaps you've got too much on your plate at the moment. You've got work and home life and trying to have a social life and everything, and it's just all getting a little bit too much. And perhaps what you really need to do is just take a step back and have like some nice time by yourself where you can just treat yourself. You can do some meditation, have a bubble bath, read a book, and do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. And I feel like you guys are already quite in touch with your intuition, and you've already done a lot of work on yourself here, but now it needs to be that you are putting yourself first and you're letting go of these expectations about what this is going to look like, and really just focusing on making yourself feel good, because it will happen in the way that it's meant to happen. It's like divine timing, so it's going to happen. So at the moment, you've got the kind of easy job of just saying, okay, well, I'll just relax, and I'll just focus on myself, and I will do everything in my power to make myself feel good and make myself feel grounded, be creative, be abundant, try and bring more abundance into my life, more wealth. Maybe like I need to go out and like let my hair down a little bit, and just feel like the kind of sexy goddess or god that I am. And yeah, just really kind of find this inner strength that is built on abundance, it's built on beauty, and it's built on really feeling like you're in your own domain and you're very comfortable in your own skin, and try and let go of what this might look like. I know it's hard to kind of get rid of the memories, and you don't want to get rid of them, but perhaps trying something like some technique, like every time it pops into your head, just be like, no, or like shelf it, or just say something to yourself, so that you're not constantly going round and round in circles in this Six of Cups, looking at the past, and also not looking at the future. You need to be a little bit more in the present, because you've got like, oh, wasn't it beautiful? And then where will it take me? And it's this constant back and forth, and it's like ignoring the present moment. And in that present moment, you've got a lot of lessons to be learned still before you guys reach union. So yeah, I hope that resonated, and I hope that helps. Improve your self-care if you have been neglecting yourself a little bit recently because of, just having too much on your plate and too much on your mind. And yeah, try and use one of those like techniques so that you're not constantly thinking about past and future stuff, and just keep being patient, because it will happen when it's meant to happen. So if you chose group 2, let's have a look what we've got for you. So in the Thoth, we've got the Priestess, Works, and the Prince of Cups. And on these little ones, we've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the Fool, we've got the 7 of Wands, we've got the 6 of Swords, and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is telling me that you guys have been really delving into your intuition recently. You've probably been doing a lot of work on yourself. You're on a real spiritual journey at the moment. You've got the Priestess here, so you're really feeling your intuitive powers at the moment. You're probably getting a lot of signs from the universe. Perhaps you're having a lot of dreams, maybe even dreams of this person, you're this twin flame or this soulmate, and it is improving you in some way. Like, you can feel like your strength now. The Prince of Cups here, it's like you're stepping into your own power. You're becoming a lot deeper. You're becoming more in tune with your higher self, and you're working really hard at this as well. So you are probably, doing these tarot videos. You're probably meditating, doing yoga, taking time out to really focus on what your needs are and what your higher self is trying to tell you, and that is really good. But there are still some issues in walking away from this connection. I feel like perhaps there are some outside influences. Maybe you might have spoken to a friend or family about it, and they were like, what are you talking about? What is this business with, soulmates, twin flames? Like, what is this? Just let it go. And that has made you feel like you have to defend your beliefs, and maybe not even to them, because at the end of the day, you know what you know, but perhaps to yourself as well, because when you start letting other people kind of comment on what's going on for you, then actually that it kind of, in your subconscious, you take it on internally, and then you start to doubt it and question it yourself a little bit as well. And then in turn, that makes the intuitive messages from your higher self, it makes them come more often, because essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to show you the way. So, you know, whenever you try and give up, it's like they come more. There's like a flood of like stuff from your higher self. And, you know, that is essentially trying to keep you on the right path, because all of this external noise that you get from other people being like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Just let it go. You know, that really affects your own energy as well. So the best thing to do actually is just not talk to people about it, because you know what you know, you know, you feel it in your intuition, you feel it in your gut, so you don't need anybody else's approval, you don't need anybody else's validation. And you know, in particular, if you're asking, like even like psychics and things, if you're asking other people to validate your own experience, then it's going to start to wobble for you, and it is going to push you further away from this union that you really want. So as well, I feel like perhaps, you know, you're really hell-bent on receiving some communication from them at the moment. I think that you're definitely in separation, and that you guys have been really working on your own stuff. You know, you've been your own therapist, you've been like trying to move out of like tumultuous energies. You've been trying to move away from anything that makes you stressed out. You've been trying to overcome any blocks that you've got in your psyche, like trying to work out what things from the past have affected you now. And you've been going really deep on this, and it's been bringing up a lot of stuff for you that you've been like, wow, I didn't even know that was the case. And it's really helping you to be able to like balance your life at the moment. You know, it's perhaps bringing in new directions for you. It's giving you like a new lease on life a little bit, and you're thinking, wow, I never knew that I could do that with my life. You know, maybe I will try that. Maybe I will, you know, do whatever it is that has come up recently. And I feel like your main message here is to keep doing what you're doing, keep focusing on the intuition, and don't doubt it. Do not doubt your intuition. Keep working on your intuition. You know, keep doing tarot, keep doing meditation, keep doing your yoga, keep doing whatever it is that makes you feel like you're at one with your higher self and the universe. That's going to really help you out. And stop focusing on trying to receive communication, because it will happen when it's meant to happen. Like, all of this works through divine timing. So, you know, by you thinking, you know, when are they going to contact me? When are they going to contact me? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be there? And like, you know, maybe you've been a little bit naughty and you're kind of asking the tarot too often, or, you know, you've been like trying to meditate on contacting them, like, or, you know, you're trying to grip it a little bit, like you're trying to make sure that you know. And that just comes from fear. That just comes from fear of, you know, not having it happen. But it will happen, you know. If it's meant to be, it will happen. So if you know it in your gut that you're going to receive a communication and that you guys will see each other again, that you'll move past this and you will see each other again, then, you know, that feeling is there for a reason. So you need to just believe in that a little bit and just work on your daily life, really. So, you know, while you have got this intuition, like you're working on this, make sure that you are getting all your affairs into order as well. Like, you know, you're getting all of your to-do list done, you're working hard, you're really like paying attention to your life, because this like transformation, this like spiritual awakening is for you. It's not really about the romance. That's like the second, you know, it's like the cherry on top. This is about you, and it's about your journey, and it's about how you can better yourself. So just make sure that you really are doing that, rather than trying to figure out when this is going to happen. So yeah, that's your reading, guys. I hope that resonated. Drop me a comment if it did, and I'm going to move on to the next group. Okay, hi guys, this is group 3. If you picked this one, let's take a look what you got. So we've got 9 of Cups, Happiness, the Hanged Man, and the Knight of Discs. Okay, well, I think that, you know, if you've watched a few videos like this about, like, you know, karmic soulmates and twin flames and stuff, then you're probably fed up of seeing the Hanged Man already. You know, if you're in a period of separation right now, it's probably Hanged Man all day long. But, you know, he's there for a reason. So, King of Wands, the Sun, the Chariot, Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, make sure that you can see them. Okay, so what this is telling me is that you've been doing really well at building up your life. You know, you've been really focusing on the material right now. Perhaps you've been throwing yourself into work. You've been, you know, maybe even starting a new business. You have been really trying to make sure that you're feeling secure and grounded and just getting everything in order so that when you do finally come together with this person, you are going to be ready to receive them. You're going to be ready to, you know, have your union. You're going to be ready to join forces, and you're not going to come to them, you know, empty-handed. You know, I feel like you're quite focused on making sure that when you do have this reunion with this person, that they can be proud of you and proud of what you've done. And in particular, I think you have been very much going within on this. You've been having lots of things come up for you, and you've been trying to be really patient with this connection. I feel like this is very earthy energy right here. So, you know, whoever this is resonating with, you've been doing really well at the patience, you know, side of it. Like, you know, quietly going within with the Hanged Man, learning the lessons, sacrificing some things for the greater good. You know, perhaps that means like you've been staying in a little bit, or you've been staying later at work, and you just really like, you know, I've got my eyes on the prize still, but I'm prepared to wait. You know, because you know that this is a very special connection that kind of fills you up with love and happiness. You are prepared to wait for it, and that's perfect, because, you know, these things happen when they're meant to happen. It's all about divine timing, so that's a really good attitude to have. Okay, so I think what this is telling me here, what you should do is that perhaps you need to take a little bit more action on the things that make you happy. So if you've been a little bit cautious about some things, perhaps you've had this idea that has come of this, you know, of this spiritual awakening that you've been having. Maybe you've had an idea and you thought, wow, that would be really cool if I could do that. But you've been a little bit cautious about it, and you're like, well, you know, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, or, you know, I'm not sure if I have the, you know, the skills or the financial kind of setup or the foundations to be able to do this quite yet. And this is saying, you know, you need to take that opportunity, because anything that comes up during, you know, this awakening period, like when you're having all of these like spiritual kind of profound epiphanies and like all this kind of just stuff coming to the surface, like past pains, and you're just really like purging everything and just becoming a better person and like stepping into your own spiritual power, a lot of stuff will come up that you'll be like, wow, I never would have thought that I could have done that beforehand, but since I've met this person, or I've been with this person, anything feels possible. And then, you know, you will get more messages telling you what it is that you should be doing. So you need to be looking towards your joy at the moment. What things really fill you up and make you feel really good? And a really good kind of affirmation for you to repeat to yourself is follow my bliss. So, you know, if you do have an idea that you've been like, oh, I'm not sure if I should move forwards with it, because it's perhaps, you know, perhaps it involves taking a little bit of risk and, you know, getting out of your comfort zone a little bit, then this is saying, like, you know, take action on that. Like, step into your power and realize that, you know, this is making you a much bigger person, and that there is more to this, you know, this awakening and this connection than just eventually being with somebody that you feel, you know, really excited to be with. It's more than romance. It's about what you can do for the world, you know. So for you, it's like you're very good at building things. You're very good at being patient, being dedicated, and being practical. So you need to start putting that into action a little bit more, above and beyond what you're currently doing, you know. So maybe if that means after work you start putting a little bit of extra time into some project that you have been thinking about, you know, and really just trust your gut that this is the right move for you. And then, you know, then when you finally do reunite with your twin flame or your soulmate, then you'll be able to say, hey, look what I've done. This is, you know, this is all because of us. Like, that I've managed to create this. I've created something incredible in the material world, and, you know, and I want to share it with you now. So yeah, just really think about how you can act from a place of like joy, from following your bliss, thinking about what you can do to help the world, what you can do to bring something into the world that you never would have been able to do before. And, you know, if you're like, oh, you know, I haven't thought of anything yet, then perhaps it will come to you. And just really like keep focusing on like doing your meditation, yoga, tarot, like whatever it is that helps you to connect to your higher self, and it will give you the answers. You know, something will come to you and you'll be like, oh my God, that's great. You know, it might be a business idea, or like, you know, perhaps like some urge to go and help a charity, or like just something that is, you know, outside of your comfort zone a little bit, something that you're not really used to, but that is going to make you feel joy. It's going to make you feel like you're really doing something for yourself. Okay, so I hope that resonated with you guys. I'm going to move on to the next group now. Okay guys, so here I've got group 4. If this was your group, let's see what we got. So here we've got the 6 of Wands, Victory, the Hermit, and the 3 of Cups, Abundance. Make sure you can see those. And then we've got the Death card, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the 6 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Devil, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, so yeah, I feel like you guys are perhaps clinging on to this a little bit at the moment. I mean, I know that everybody is, but I think that, you know, you're feeling quite a little bit negative about it at the moment, actually. I feel like perhaps you're thinking, you know, well, what was all of this for? And that is part of the journey, is, you know, there are times when you think, you know, what was the point? You know, what was the point in all of this if I'm just going to be left, and if I'm just going to be like stuck with all this heartbreak and then I can't get over it? And, you know, it's just too much at the moment. I'd rather not have met them, or, you know, I'd just rather be by myself at the moment, or, you know, I don't want this even. And, you know, if you are in that place at the moment, then just know that whenever you do kind of have these like wobbles of like heartbreak, of like, why, you know, why did I meet them and then they left, or, you know, then they ignored me, or, you know, something happened and now I'm kind of left feeling like, what the hell? You know, like, why, you know, and I can't stop thinking about them, and, you know, and I just wish that, you know, they would never have come into my life. If you're in that place, know that, you know, that is indicative of a block that needs to be sorted. So, you know, obviously you're focusing on what the potential was, like, oh my God, but that could have been amazing, that would, you know, that might have been my soulmate, that might have been the one. And you're really like gripping onto it too hard. Just know that as soon as you let go of the grip a little bit, that's when the breakthrough comes. So, I mean, this journey is all about like hurdles and breakthroughs, and hurdles and breakthroughs, and hurdles and breakthroughs, you know, until you have broken through enough that you can finally get together. And, you know, it's not the easiest. It's not like a normal relationship, but it is for a reason. And yeah, what you'll find is that, you know, when you're feeling like this, and, you know, you're perhaps feeling like you want to give up, actually, like, you know, you're just like, well, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this, you know, or you maybe you think that they are, you know, because that's part of it as well, you know, constantly thinking, have they forgotten about me? Is it over for them? Did they feel the same way? All this constant, like, you know, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? And, you know, it might be for now, but if it is what you think it is, if it is this like deep twin flame soulmate connection, then it's not over for them. And a lot of the time, you know, this is just your ego, you know, just getting involved, just like trying to make you feel bad. It's trying to make you feel like perhaps it wasn't what you thought it was. But at the end of the day, like, you know what you felt, like, you know that deep in, you know, somewhere deep within you, like in, you know, in your stomach and your bones, you knew what that was. So if you're letting the ego tell you like, oh, she doesn't, you know, doesn't love you, doesn't feel the same, like you know, you're just being an idiot, you're just being stupid, or you're being crazy. It's another one. You're being, you know, you're just being crazy. Then you're actually preventing, you know, the next installment to come along. You're preventing the next chapter from happening, because as soon as we start to let go of this feeling of like, why me, you know, I don't, you know, why did they leave, and, you know, what if they don't like me, and what if it's over? As soon as you stop focusing on that, then you can let the wheel turn again, you can let the next chapter come in, and then you can focus on something new. And that will take a period of just being by yourself a little bit. And what you might find as well, like while you're on this journey, is that you don't really want to hang out with people quite as much anymore, because you are feeling quite sensitive, and you're also feeling a little bit like you're just questioning everything now. It's like you will have these moments of breakthroughs where you're just like, what the hell, I had no idea that the universe was this crazy and that things like this could happen. Like, you'll get little signs that you'll be like, I can't deny it anymore. Like, it is what it is, and I'm just going to accept it. And, you know, when that happens, you will feel like this abundance of joy, like, you know, your cups are overfilling. You're just like, oh my gosh, I did not know that I could feel this way. And you've just got to get out of your head, really, and into your heart, you know. You've got to, like, essentially, you've got to assume victory, because what happens as well is that, you know, as soon as you think, well, you know, maybe it's not equal, maybe, you know, maybe I'm mistaken, maybe it's unrequited, you know, maybe I'm just being crazy, then you are kind of pushing away, you're like pushing it away. Whereas if you just assume, you know, yes, we are going to see each other again, or yes, we are going to get back together, or, you know, whatever it is that makes you happy, like this union that you are on the horizon, if you just assume victory on it, then actually it's easier to live your life. Like, because as soon as you try and make it end, then it comes back to bite you in the ass even more. Like, you know, you end up having loads of dreams and signs and, you know, lots of purging emotions and stuff that would have been a lot easier if you'd have just held on to the fact that, you know, yes, we are going to see each other again, we just need to focus on our own stuff at the moment. So yeah, I hope that this has helped. You know, if you are in this place at the moment, know that, you know, the wheel always turns. It goes up and down, up and down. So, you know, it's part of the journey. It's like being on a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster. And, you know, essentially what you have to decide is, are you in or are you out? And, you know, whenever you decide, are you out? That's when all the kind of pain comes in, and you're like, no, what was it for? What was the point? I'm heartbroken. What was the point? So if you don't reach that stage, if you don't try and think about ending whatever it is, just keep it in your heart, keep this potential in your heart, and just assume that it will end in victory. Assume that there will be a positive ending to this, and that it was all for a reason, and that all of the signs did make sense and you weren't crazy. Then, you know, that will actually help you on your journey a little bit better, because you'll just be able to relax a little bit more, and you won't keep like clinging to stuff. You'll be able to just focus on your journey and focus on what it is that you're meant to be doing here. So yeah, I hope that helped, guys, and I'm going to move on to the next group now. Okay guys, so this is group 5. And let's have a look what we've got for you. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles, change, we've got the 5 of Cups, disappointment, and the Fool. Okay, so yeah, let's see what we've got here. We've got the Knave of Wands, the 8 of Cups, 7 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the 2 of Cups. Oh, it's nice seeing the 2 of Cups there, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, this is telling me here that you were very aware of the connection that you guys had. You know, it was one of those like, oh my gosh, you know, it feels like soulmates, feels like home, you know, I'm sold. But that at some point it made you feel like perhaps it was not all going to happen. Like, you've got the 5 of Cups here. So, you know, you kind of plunged into a bit of a depression and were refusing to move on from it a little bit. And that in turn was affecting your daily life, you know, an inability to focus. And I feel like what this is telling you here is that you need to have a new mindset about this. And, you know, you need to recognise that you're not going to be able to see everything that is going on here, and that you need to just trust anyway, because a lot of this you can get caught up in your head, like overthinking. I feel like there's a bit of overthinking been going on here, like, you know, what is the other person doing? You know, do they still feel the same? Like, you know, what can I do about it? You know, maybe I need more answers, maybe I need to write more, maybe I need to think more. And actually this is perhaps negatively affecting it a little bit, and that you need to just like walk away from that kind of feeling. This is also suggesting as well that, you know, perhaps you didn't really want to give in to this energy. You know, maybe you're a little bit stubborn about it as well, and that you were like, well, you know, I'm quite happy being by myself at the moment, and this all feels a little bit kind of dramatic for my liking, and don't really know where I stand with it, so, you know, I'm perhaps not going to get involved. It's like denying the connection, perhaps. And, you know, it's just suggesting that actually you need to recognise a little bit more that this is like a soulmate twin flame kind of energy, and that you don't really need to do anything about it. You know, it's okay that you don't want to rush into things. It's okay that you're quite happy by yourself. And actually this is the best kind of mindset to be in, because if you stay in this Five of Cups energy for too long, then it postpones the union quite a bit. And, you know, it stops you from being able to step into what is essentially going to be a new you, because all of this kind of, you know, twin flame, like soulmate kind of stuff, it is basically trying to get you to awaken spiritually. It's trying to get you to, you know, bring about some positive change into the world. It's not just about, you know, two people in love and, you know, they get married and have children and live happily ever after. Like, it's not actually about that. Otherwise it wouldn't be so profound, and it wouldn't be so bloody difficult as well. So yeah, if you have been a little bit like overthinking it, like, what should I do? You know, do I need to decide on something? Should I maybe think about like walking away from it? Do I need to move towards it? Like, it's this constant kind of like trying to figure it out, but you can't figure it out. It's not something that can be figured out with the head. It has to be a gut feeling. And for you, the only cups that you've got here are the soulmate cups. So perhaps meeting this person really triggered something that you weren't quite used to. You know, perhaps you are more of a logical kind of person, and you're used to dealing in like kind of intellectual, philosophical kind of things. And, you know, meeting with this person made you go, oh my gosh, this is making me feel things that I have never really experienced before. You know, I'm used to being quite grounded and quite realistic, and, you know, perhaps you're like questioning it as well from almost like a scientific kind of view, like, you know, well, is it possible? And actually that, you know, that really does affect it as well negatively, because then you're constantly trying to like battle with your head and your heart, or your intuition and your logical brain, like your right and left brain. It's like you're constantly like, you know, having a debate almost between the two of them, like, you know, are soulmates and twin flames possible? And then, you know, the scientific side kicks in and they're like, no, of course not, don't be ridiculous. And then when you have that, you end up in this Five of Cups energy again, because you're like, well, how can it not be what it was? Because I felt it really strongly. So because of that, you need to perhaps just like let go a little bit at the moment of trying to understand it. And in that, you will reach a new kind of mindset, and then you'll be able to like take a new kind of stance on it as well. Because at the moment, the way that your old, I want to say your old brain, but like, you know what I mean? Like, the old you is not quite getting to grips with this connection. It's something that's a little bit alien to you. And so you need to like change the way that you think and change the way that you see things, and, you know, become a new person almost that does believe in this stuff or doesn't. You know, it's okay to be a little bit doubtful of it, but try not to get into this Seven of Swords energy where you're just like, you know, I'm being tricked. Because, you know, who's trying to trick you? The universe? The other person? You know, if the other person has left already, then perhaps you feel a little bit like, well, they lied to me, they betrayed me, and, you know, I thought that it was this wonderful Two of Cups energy, but then actually they just left, and, you know, up and left in the middle of the night. And so what was it? You know, what was it? And then you keep coming back to this Five of Cups of like disappointment, like, well, you know, I thought that I was going to level up here and have this like beautiful deep experience, and now I'm just like questioning it constantly, you know, questioning, should I walk away? And, you know, if you do walk away, that's okay too, because, you know, some people get very caught up in all of this, whereas it seems like you are still having a little bit of doubt with it. And, you know, that's okay, because at least you're not clinging to it. At least you're not, you know, doing what a lot of people do, which is understandable both sides. A lot of people, they latch onto it and they're like, this is the one and I'm going to stick with it, and you know, I'm just going to look at that other person constantly and I'm not going to learn my lessons, when actually this journey is all about learning about yourself, because this is a mirror reflection of you. Like, you know, you've seen yourself in somebody else. So yeah, basically guys, just, you know, try and give up on trying to explain this, you know, and just let it go, you know, just let it happen as it's going to happen. Things will start to come up to show you the way. You don't really need to do anything except, you know, just get on with your life really, because it will manifest in the way that it's meant to come, and you don't need to do anything. So if you feel like walking away from it at the moment, then that's fine, you do that. But eventually, you know, you will probably come back and you will have this new mindset about it, and you will be able to see it in a new light. You'll be able to see the truth of the matter. But, you know, perhaps at the moment, it's just better to focus on your own life and to focus on just feeling good at the moment. So, yeah, I hope that resonated, guys. And yeah, so that is all 5 groups. I hope that helped with you guys. I'll do some more at some point, so don't forget to subscribe if you were into this. And yeah, I will see you guys soon.